The convenience of the modern frozen meal has become a staple of the busy American lifestyle, promising a balanced dinner in under 5 minutes of microwave time. However, the gleaming boxes in the frozen food aisle represent one of the most significant nutritional disasters of the industrial age. Behind the appetizing photography and claims of being protein-packed or made with real ingredients lies a reality of chemical stabilization, sodium overload, and the destruction of cellular integrity. The frozen meal is not merely a colder version of fresh food. It is a fundamentally different biological product that has been engineered to withstand months of sub-zero storage at the expense of your metabolic health. To understand why frozen meals are so damaging, we must first look at the process of flash freezing and its effect on the structure of food. When water freezes, it expands and forms crystals. In a domestic freezer, this process is slow, creating large ice crystals that puncture cell walls. While industrial flash freezing uses extremely low temperatures to create smaller crystals, the damage to the delicate cellular matrix of vegetables and proteins is still significant. This is why frozen vegetables often turn to mush once heated. The structural integrity that holds in nutrients has been shattered. The liquid that leaches out of your microwave tray is not just water, it is the cellular fluid containing water-soluble vitamins like C and B complex, which are lost before the fork even reaches your mouth. The second major issue is the sodium trap. To compensate for the loss of flavor that occurs during freezing and the subsequent reheating in a microwave, manufacturers must rely on aggressive seasoning. A single frozen entree can contain upwards of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, which is nearly half of the daily recommended limit for an adult in a single small portion. This level of salt is not just for taste, it acts as a preservative and a texturizer. Chronic consumption of these meals leads to systemic fluid retention and puts an immense strain on the kidneys and the cardiovascular system. For many people, the hidden salt in their healthy frozen lunch is the primary driver of their high blood pressure and chronic bloating. The quality of the fats used in frozen meals is another invisible disaster. Because real butter or high-quality olive oil can become rancid or separate during long periods of freezing and reheating, manufacturers turn to highly processed industrial seed oils like soybean, canola, or cottonseed oil. These oils are high in omega-6 fatty acids, which, when consumed in the absence of sufficient omega-3 fats, create a pro-inflammatory state in the body. Furthermore, these oils are often partially hydrogenated or contain emulsifiers like mono and diglycerides to ensure the sauce stays smooth and creamy after being zapped. These industrial fats are foreign to human biology and contribute to the clogging of cellular membranes and mitochondrial dysfunction. We must also address the chemical cocktail of preservatives used to keep these meals shelf-stable for up to a year. Ingredients like butylated hydroxyanisole, BHA, and butylated hydroxytoluene, BHT, are frequently added to prevent the fats from going bad. While the FDA labels them as safe, many independent researchers and the European Union have raised concerns about their potential as endocrine disruptors. By consuming these meals daily, you are subjecting your hormonal system to a constant drip of synthetic chemicals that can interfere with everything from thyroid function to reproductive health. The goal of the food industry is shelf life, but the goal of your body is biological life, and these two objectives are currently at odds in the frozen food aisle. The sauces found in frozen meals are often little more than liquid chemical emulsions. To achieve a thick, glossy texture without using expensive reductions, manufacturers use modified food starch, maltodextrin, and xanthan gum. Maltodextrin in particular is a hidden sugar with a glycemic index even higher than table sugar. This means that even if a frozen meal is marketed as low-calorie or keto, the starch in the sauce can cause a massive spike in insulin levels. This insulin spike tells the body to stop burning fat and start storing it, which is why many people find themselves unable to lose weight despite eating portion-controlled frozen dinners. The packaging itself presents a unique set of risks. Most frozen meals are designed to be heated directly in their plastic trays. When plastic is subjected to high temperatures in a microwave, it can undergo a process called leaching. Chemicals such as bisphenol. This can lead to hormonal imbalances, weight gain in the midsection, and a host of other health issues. Even trays labeled BPA-free often contain similar compounds that may be just as damaging. The safest way to consume a frozen meal is to transfer it to a glass or ceramic plate, but very few people take this extra step in the interest of convenience. The protein quality in these meals is also highly questionable. To keep costs down, the meat found in frozen dinners is often restructured or treated with phosphates to retain moisture. These phosphates are inorganic and are absorbed by the body at nearly 100% efficiency, unlike the organic phosphates found in whole foods. High levels of inorganic phosphates in the blood are linked to accelerated aging, kidney damage, and the calcification of the arteries. You may think you are getting 20 grams of healthy chicken, but you are actually getting a chemically treated protein sponge loaded with mineral salts that your body struggles to process. From a psychological standpoint, frozen meals contribute to the disaster of mindless eating. Because they are pre-portioned and require no preparation, they disconnect the consumer from the reality of their food. The sensory experience of cooking, the smell of fresh herbs, the texture of raw vegetables, primes the digestive system by stimulating the production of enzymes and stomach acid. When you skip this process and eat a monochromatic tray of food while sitting at a desk or in front of a screen, you are likely to experience poor digestion and a lack of true satiety. The brain doesn't register the meal in the same way, leading to a cycle of constant grazing and snack cravings just an hour after finishing the tray. The environmental impact of the frozen meal industry is equally staggering. Every single meal comes with a plastic tray, a plastic film, a cardboard box, and often several smaller plastic sachets for sauces. The energy required to maintain the cold chain, keeping the product at sub-zero temperatures from the factory to the truck to the warehouse to the store and finally to your home, is immense. By relying on these meals, we are participating in a carbon-intensive food system that generates mountains of non-recyclable waste for a few minutes of convenience. The solution to the frozen meal disaster is a return to the prep and freeze method. By cooking large batches of whole food meals using fresh ingredients and freezing them in glass containers, you can have the convenience of a quick dinner without the chemical load. When you control the salt, the oil, and the packaging, you turn a metabolic liability into a nutritional asset. Real food doesn't need a paragraph of chemical additives to taste good. It needs proper seasoning and the respect of a gentle cooking process. It is time to stop viewing the frozen meal as a shortcut to health. It is a shortcut to metabolic dysfunction and systemic inflammation. The convenience of the 5-minute tray is a legal lie that tells you that you can bypass the laws of biology. Your body requires the complex micronutrients and intact structures of fresh food to thrive. The next time you are tempted by the colorful boxes in the freezer aisle, remember that the most expensive thing about a cheap frozen dinner is the long-term cost to your health. Reclaim your kitchen and your vitality by choosing food that hasn't been chemically frozen in time.